Yeah, man, this your boy DJ Cree, exclusive Heat series. Back with another great interview, man. We got my boy Myke Sessionz.
What's going on?
All right, we're gonna wait for a second for everybody to get in, but we're gonna start this thing off right. Make sure y'all share. Make sure y'all like it, man. We're about to get into some dope content. We're gonna talk about a lot of things that happen in hip hop and a lot of things that happen in Myke Sessionz' life and in how did we go from the things that the bad things that happen to the good things. So trying to wait for people to come in. I'm gonna give it about 20 more seconds and then we're just gonna go ahead and get started. All right, let's get this thing started. Myke Sessionz, how you doing?
Man, I'm great, man. Super blessed, especially during these times. To still be here, man, and appreciate the opportunity, man, and the interview.
Oh man, anytime. Now let's get started. You know what I'm saying? Where are you from?
Well, most know by now. If you don't know, now you know. I'm from the east side of Decatur. You know,
Is that Decatur where it's greater?
some say that. Some say that. I say it gets greater later. You know what I mean? Some say Decatur was great. They always say it to be like, look, man, it's kind of like hearing a joke that you've heard like 20 million times.
Mm-hmm.
It just be like, yep, okay, yeah, heard that before. But yeah, that's where I'm from. So been here all my life.
Okay. Now let me ask you, what? No. How were you introduced into hip hop into the hip hop side of things?
Well, I think for me, you know, being from the South, we didn't have a whole lot of you know, outlets growing up as far as with the hip hop, as far as traditionally, because it started in New York. Uh, I was raised in a single parent home with my mom and my sister, and my mom, she wasn't listening to hip hop. She was listening to like Neil Diamond and things of that nature. So, I think that when was it the first time? I forgot if I was hanging around somebody and heard it and just kind of like gravitated to it and really started, searching out for it. But I do remember when V103, or no, actually take that back, Power 99. That was the radio station that we had before it turned into 99X. If y'all can remember back in the day, and they played hip hop and stuff. And I remember they had a contest in the Checkers. They had open and say, "Hey man, make a rap about the Champ Burger." So I was like, Power 99 is the place to be, and the 99-cent Champ Burger tastes good to me. And I won some tickets off of that.
Shit!
I won some Falcons tickets, and just to go show you how long ago it was, they were playing the San Francisco 49ers in our division, NFC West, before there was an NFC South.
Oh shit! That was a long time ago. So what was the first song that you heard that you were like, damn, hey man, I gotta rap?
I'm not sure because I heard a lot of a lot of music from checking out BET from back in the day to when it was KRS, Tribe Called Quest, Eric B and Rakim, you know what I mean, Black Sheep, and because like down here, all we had was, you know, bass music or booty music, how they used to phrase it. So and then around the time that I was coming up, you know, the West Coast was getting popular with you know, NWA, Ice Cube, and all them, and so I'm not sure what the song was that I heard when I first knew that I wanted to rap, but I remember the first cassette. Yes, I said cassette, not CD. Cassette that I bought out the mall was 8 Ball and MJG.
Ooh,
coming out hard.
Now, how did you hear about 8 Ball and MJG?
Well, a cat who was from Miami. This was when I was probably 13, and he was older than me. He was like 18, 19. You know what I mean? And he lived in my neighborhood. He was from Miami, and he was playing it. And I was like, yo, what is this? You know what I mean? And then I found out about it, and I just started, you know, that's the first tape that I bought, you know. The Hard Boys, A-Town Hardheads.
Man, shout out to the Hard Boys.
You know, and that was really my first introduction to Atlanta.
Right.
You know what I mean? Atlanta, like street music, hip hop, whatever you want to call it.
Right. Same here, man. I actually my first real like introduction to it was actually funny as fuck. The Fat Boys, Big Daddy Kane, the Fresh Prince, and Africa Bambaataa. You know what I'm saying? Those like when I heard that stuff, you know what I'm saying? That shit, it like captured my imagination, captured my mind, because as I started listening, especially people like Big Daddy Kane, they were telling street stories. You know what I mean? And those street stories was a reflection of what was going on in my hood. So immediately, I was like a magnet. It was just like I was stuck to that shit like glue. You know what I mean? So like, when did you decide that you were gonna like actually become a rapper? You bought the 8 Ball and MJG. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that whenever I was you know, growing up in my youth, I was wild. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I just, you know, some things that I went through in life to where I couldn't say, hey man, that I had to, you know, I had to be in the streets because it was the only way to survive and do. Nah, I meant like I can't say that was part of my story, you know. But what I can say is that, you know, I was 13 or 14. I was running the streets. I meant being everywhere from Eastwick to Joyland to all over the place, and always hung out with cats older than me. You know what I mean? And the people I hung around with me, you know, accepted me. You know what I mean? And just as the adage goes, whoever you hang around, and whatever they doing, more than likely you're gonna be doing the same thing too. So we was hanging out, getting high, you know, wilding out in the streets, just not caring. You know what I mean? And I was young and impressionable at the time, so I was just what I figured, you know, what I figured is living life.
So you were did you record a lot, or were you mostly like a freestyle dude? Y'all would just like get together, go drink, smoke, and y'all would just be freestyling back and forth?
Yeah, that's pretty much it, because mostly freestyle. I didn't write anything down until I remember that this when I was in juvenile. I was locked up in Panthersville, YDC, and the one guy, I ain't gonna say his name. We don't do that around here. But the one guy who I was in the cell with, man, he said, he also rapped too. He was like, yo, man, why don't you just write a rap? You know what I mean, about hitting a lick. And from there, I wrote my first like actual, you know what I mean, like 16 bars, the hook, the 16 bars, and from there, that was my first introduction into actually the writing form of it. But freestyle, mostly until I say about maybe like 10 years ago.
Okay, okay. Now, have do you find it harder to break into the music being white, or do you think that's an advantage?
Well, personally, me, I think that what's meant for you is meant for you. If you come into anything, I mean, I understand being realistic and say, hey, that it might be harder, uh, because of these certain areas or certain challenges that one might face. But I think overall, if you go into it and if you come into it thinking that that's going to be a factor, that's going to be something that's going to hold you back, it will.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I do believe in manifesting your thoughts, that words are powerful, and you can speak things into an existence, and that you're never late in life. So, with hard work and consistency, anything is possible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I feel you, man. And like I think hip hop has become so like it's not only a black culture, but it became a American culture, and then after American culture, it became a worldwide culture. It people from all races, all walks of life, all now have this one thing in common, and that's this hip hop thing. Which I think is a good thing. You know, um, Hardships and stuff like that in your life. Like I know you personally, but I definitely want to get into like the things that you personally had to overcome in your life to even get to this point. And I don't know where you want to begin at, but
I mean, for me, like I said, I grew up in a single parent home. So my mom, I mean, at times she worked two jobs. You know what I mean, to provide for me and my sister. Uh, and really, I had everything that I needed as far as like food, shelter, and you know what I mean, lights and all that. But I was looking for something else. You know what I mean? I didn't have that. I didn't have that father in my life, that father figure. You know what I mean? So I had to turn to the streets for that. You know what I mean? The people I was hanging with and was all older than me, so I was kind of taking their direction. And yeah, man, you got into some trouble, kind of did my own thing, man. I didn't care about school. I didn't care about I didn't care about too much, man. I just wanted to live life my way on my terms, and didn't care too much about the future. But as I got older, you know, uh, you know how when you're younger they say, hey man, the decisions you make today will it'll plan the future or the future for tomorrow or something. I'm paraphrasing it, but you know what I mean, though.
yeah.
Uh, so for me, just the hardships. I mean, if you're able to get through it and make it, man, it's such a blessing for me to even be sitting here in this interview right now with you, because you know, uh, hey man, it's life shows up. I'll put it to you like that, man. Life shows up, man, and through this path, man, of I call it a road to redemption. You know what I mean? To where
Right.
uh like I do have sobriety, you know. And that's one thing I'm proud of. I'm coming up in June, it'll be 8 years.
Man, congratulations, congratulations, man.
So, and I know that that's kind of like what you're talking about as far as to kind of go back to where you're saying, hey man, is it harder for, a white dude being in hip hop? I know it has its advantages, but it has its disadvantages.
Right.
And same way with the judicial system, but that's another topic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It has its advantages and its disadvantages. But coming from there, like it's more acceptable now to where you see people like Eminem, like Royce the 5'9", like Crooked Eye, like Rich, who are very openly and candidly talk about their recovery. You know what I mean? At some point, you get to the point of where it's more of a liability, to you, just not your craft, but to you as a person in general. So, not everybody has that. Some people can go out, man, and smoke weed and go out and be productive. I know there's a hot topic story of a professor. I forget what school it is. Creed's laughing because we watched if y'all take a second to go watch the Joe Rogan podcast on Spotify with Freddie Gibbs.
Yeah.
And they're talking about a professor who did research and they talk about the effects of drugs, and he started taking drugs himself to where like he's an avid user of heroin. Like he likes using heroin just to unwind, and to where like certain things like people react to it different ways. You know what I mean? And I crossed an imaginary line to where I can't go back. I can't have fun. You know what I mean? Like I will call in my job. I will call in from a job and say, hey man, I'm not coming in just because I wanted to get high. And so I had to realize, man, that it wasn't for me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But that's all I knew from the age, people who experiment with it. I started when I was 13 and I did it like a full-time job. I clocked in every day. I wasn't getting paid for it, but I clocked in every day. You know what I mean? So that's why now to where like I don't do anything.
And I wanted to just the name of the professor. He's a professor at Columbia. His name is Carl Hart. He uses heroin, and he's an advocate for legalizing drugs. But I totally agree with you. Like for him, it may be fine because he started at 30. You know what I'm saying? He had his life together before he even tried drugs. So it might be an easier transition for him to do it. But he may be able to handle it mentally. You know what I'm saying? But because when you're young and you're doing drugs and smoking and drinking and blah, 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 you make a lot of bad decisions. Just me drinking, you make bad decisions. So, I would say, yes, they should legalize drugs, but when they legalize drugs, they should have treatment centers free and things like that to help people get through those times. Because if you make them illegal, people are just going to want to do them even more. But at least if they make them legal, y'all won't have to worry about prison, things like that. And help will be available as soon as you need it. You wouldn't have to find it,
Right. And that's going on to that goes in more for the socioeconomic, you know what I mean, transition period that they would, that it affects, you know what I mean, also in the judicial system. But that's another, COINTELPRO and all of that. But we're not going to get into that because it would be too long. But I mean, I just basically take it to where people are dealing with something every day, and mine just happened to be addiction. You know what I mean? People could be struggling with sex, struggling with food, struggling with money, struggling with adultery. You know what I mean? Whatever. Just because I sin different doesn't mean mine is greater or less than. So I just try to, I'm all right with me today. So I can openly say that about myself, man, and stand on my truth. You know what I mean? And be comfortable with it, because you know, you can't get me off my square, man. I know who I am.
Right. You know what I mean? Um, that's to me that's like the a deep story, man. And I applaud you for even sharing, you know, your experience and sharing your story, because that adds like so much to you and to your music and to the things that, you know, it's to the makeup of you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's super dope. You know what I mean? So definitely congratulations on everything you accomplished so far. Now let me ask you, um, lyrics versus non-lyrics. What do you prefer?
I'm there. It's kind of like, you know, this is a topic, man, that could go on for centuries until the end of time. You know what I mean? Even how, especially of how, you know, the industry is right now. I mean, personally, B, I like I like to for lyrics to make you think, to, you know, figure out how to say things in different ways and
Mm-hmm.
different and clever ways. But at the same time, I don't want to hear a thesis if I'm out partying. You know what I mean? When I was out partying, like I didn't want to hear no J Electronica. I wanted to hear Taking
Right.
Over from the 99 and 2000.
Right,
Back that
right,
ass up. You know what I mean? So
right.
there is a place for everything. You know what I mean? This duality of life. You know what I mean? You can't have the light without the dark.
Right.
You can't have love without hate.
Yeah.
You can't have lyrics with non-lyrics. You know what I mean? So I think each one has a place in their proper perspective, and it's the freedom of choice. Like
Right.
if you don't want to listen to something, don't listen to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
this social media age where everybody kind of like wants attention and wants to be heard, to where, like, if you see a post that you don't necessarily agree with, so you mean to tell me that you're going to take your time out of your day
Mm-hmm.
and say how you dislike that person's point of view? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the energy that it takes, you know what I mean, for you know,
Energy.
just the energy that you waste
Right.
on
Right.
focusing on what somebody else is doing, man, is you know, when it could be going into the goals you're trying to set for yourself and what you're trying to do. And like 10 seconds from now or 10 years from now, do you think a person's Instagram post is going to have any effect on my life? Well, it shouldn't. You know what I
Right.
mean? It doesn't on mine.
Yeah. And you know, my thing with lyrics. This is my golden rule. DJ Creed's golden rule. All right, you gotta have you know, 30% ignorant shit, 30% lyrics, and 40%, you know what I'm saying, like energy, tone, and things like that. So, you know, I at least I fuck with you at least if you got 30% lyrics. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got 30% lyrics, bro, I don't give a fuck who you are. I ain't rocking with you. If you can't, look, this is this is prime example. If you just a regular rapper or you so lyrical that you don't make any sense, I it's a rap. But I do appreciate like club music. I do appreciate super lyrical shit. I do appreciate all of it. But it's a fine line between making a hit and making some bullshit. So you know what I mean. Man, I need rappers to get this shit together.
I think that also goes along with, you know, whenever you put it out, putting out your music, is that something that do you hold it in its highest regard? Is it an art form to you,
Yeah.
or are you just trying to put on or you're just trying to put out something that sounds like something that the previous 5 people put out that it sounds like, and it charted, and you just out for a bag. You know what I mean? And by all means, do what you do. But I'm trying to, even I'm just trying to impact, have an impact on people in a positive manner. You know what I mean? With my music. Yeah, it'll be some ignorant shit in there because I've been through some ignorant shit. I've been ignorant before. You know what I mean? And so to gloss over that and not include all areas of it, because we're not all good, we're not all bad. You know what I mean? So just to say that, oh, this one specific thing, this is the way to go, and this is how you do it. You know what I mean? It's not a one size fits all type thing. You know what I mean? So I just figured that to each his own. But for me personally, I know that the music that I put out, I stand behind. That's my truth. And regardless of whether you like it or not, I like it.
Exactly. That's dope. Now, top. I always ask everybody top 5 artists. You could do it as either you're listening to them or you think that's the best. It don't matter. However you want to.
I mean, that's so subjective. I mean, there's so many people. I don't even know.
Your personal favorite.
I know, but I don't know. I kind of hate that question because there's so many things. I mean, obviously you got Pop, Big, Pun, Big L, the people who aren't here, who never reached their full potential.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know what would have been and what they could have molded and grew into. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously they're iconic, you know what I mean, in their own right. You know what I mean? You got people like Outkast. You know what I mean? When you talk about like duos, Outkast, 8 Ball and MJG.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, let me ask you a better question then. Which artists in the last 7 days have you listened to the most?
I'd have to say Benny the Butcher.
Woo! Good one.
Benny the Butcher. Man, I'm talking about just the way he puts his wordplay, the way he puts things together. I've been rocking with him for a minute, but that's that, and shout out to my other partner, man, OG Tech.
Mm-hmm.
That man has a real deal album.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't heard it, you need to go check him out. And I also like Dark Caper. Mm-hmm. Dark Caper, man, he flows too. Like, and it's some real stuff. You know what I mean? Like, more or less like, I like the one thing that I like about an artist. You know what I mean? You could talk about anime, or you can talk about wrestling. Like, I like wrestling, but it's the believability in that. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's going back to the days of from the era where I'm from, and not hating on nothing else, but it's like when you heard Snoop come on, you knew it was Snoop. Nobody else. You know what I mean? When you heard Raekwon, you knew it was Raekwon. When you heard T.I., when you heard Straight from the Deck, you knew it was Ghetto Mafia. There wasn't no other about it. You know what I mean? So originality and believability, man, along with substance and lyrics, man, is like what I dig.
I ain't gonna lie. My favorites. I'm sure I don't said this a million times, but I'm gonna say it a million more. My goats, of course, Tupac and Big, man. No hands down. And I will always pick Tupac first over Big. So it is what it is.
You're gonna get some heat. You're gonna get some heat for that, but we are exclusive heat series.
Hey, I'm honest with mine.
Right.
Too many people scared to say it. But the people I'm probably bumping the most, especially in this past month, one is Benny the Butcher. Freddie Gibbs. Who
That
else?
Alfredo album.
Yeah. Who else I've been listening to? Now, I believe that's really been it, and that's like, the people that I'm listening to. But like, I've been bumping Rick Ross lately, and yeah, Freddie Gibbs, Rick Ross, and Benny the Butcher. That's this probably this week and this month has been consistent of, man. And you know, I listen to like all the new people and all that stuff, and I'm fans of it, and I play it if it sounds good. But the stuff that moves me, that motivates me, is stuff like, Benny Butcher, Rick Ross stuff. You know what I'm saying? Freddie Gibbs stuff, because just the wordplay and the content, is deep. You could, and like I was telling you earlier, I I like to listen lyrics. I like to listen to it over and over again. Like with the bullshit rap, I can't listen to that shit over and over. But think about it. I don't want to hear she like my She like my I'm not gonna listen to that shit 5 times in a row. Hell no.
Or the most annoying hook that's out right now. I hate to do it. No, I don't hate to do it. I apologize, not really. The Meg Thee Stallion, the body Adi, get the fuck out of Lottie Dottie. You know what I mean? Like, no. Sorry. That just, nah.
Oh shit.
Sorry.
Oh. Yeah. So it's tricky. It's tricky, man. But yeah, man, it's like, I guess, the people that you listen to, all it reflects the type of music you make. You know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, everybody who's watching, definitely y'all go check out Myke Sessionz music. Check out his Instagram. Check out Facebook, man. A lot of content coming. You do the Are you on TikTok or Triller or?
I am on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook. Myke Sessionz, MykeSessionz. That's a Y, not an I, and a Z, not an S. You know what I mean? People misspell it. You know what I mean? But it's all good.
Yeah, man. Shoot. I think that we may end up wrapping this up, because we're actually in the studio, y'all. We got a studio session. I am gonna go live for a quick second to let y'all see some of the studio stuff we got going on. But I just wanted to get a quick interview in, man. We're gonna do more interviews, and next time Myke Session come back, me and him will be tripping out to some of the news and hip hop news and shit that's going on. You know what I mean? Thank you guys for tuning in. We have a lot of shit to do, so we will see y'all later. Myke Session, anything you want to say?
Nah, man. Shout out to DJ Creed, exclusive Heat series, Princess, the Ice Princess, and Angela Jackson. You know what I mean? And everybody, man, who fucks with it, from Lady Storm, Ghetto Mafia, Trauma T, Dark Caper, Conscious Chris. The list goes on and on. If I forgot you, charge it to my mind, not my heart. You know what I mean? And if you go to www.exclusiveheatseries.com, you can check this interview, plenty more interview with other artists, merchandise, music. I meant the whole shebang, man. Go ahead, click the notification and then bells. Share this post, man. Show some love, man. And y'all have a blessed day.
Yeah, and also I wanted to mention, also I forgot, man. We at Rec Yard Studio. Shout out to Rec Yard Studios, Rec Yard ENT. Shout out to Slip and Slide. Shout out to Taint.
What up, boo?
Shout out to who else we got in here? TIG, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to Quavo Badass, man. Shout out to everybody that's a part of the team, man. Shout out to Duck Hunter. Shout out to Cassidy. You know what I mean? We got shit coming, man. Y'all stay tuned. We ain't playing with y'all.